for our listeners, so we can really start to understand the difference. I actually went through the normal way of getting a divorce, a lawyer and so forth, but, back then, that was 12 years ago, I'm not sure what there was as far as any other choices. But even just to understand and help our listeners tell us about how divorce mediation works, and then, whether or not, everybody is able to do that. So can you give us some great info on that?
Sure, yes. Well, I know you have listeners from all over the country, so that what I'm going to say is applicable to everywhere.
Okay.
There are only 3 areas in any divorce that could come up. Property debt division, so the stuff, the support issues, and the child issues. So I'm in a community property state. Not all states are. Some are equitable division states. An experienced attorney usually has a pretty good idea of what the court would do in most common situations. And so mediation instead of litigation is helpful, because when you're using an experienced attorney, somebody who's been in court enough to know, what the judge is likely to do, they can advise the couple of what the rules are. Now, in community property states, and I think there are maybe 12 or 13, it's just everything is split down the middle. If it was created during the marriage with your time, effort, and energy, you just split it in half. Mm-hmm. And so the property part is just a matter of playing let's make a deal and seeing, how you want to divide up the stuff. And then the support, every state, no matter where you are in the United States, has guideline child support, which is a formula, and they take into consideration the standard of living, or, what it costs to live in your state, and they come up with a formula. And this is not a mystery. Any paralegal can run those numbers for you. Now, it's a numbers in, numbers out situation. So, if you're toying around with income and lying or hiding income, then you're not going to get the right number. Now, spousal support is generally not by guideline, but it's suggested amount. And spousal support is actually the most complicated issue, because you don't know how long it's going to last. On a long-term marriage, it could last for a long, long time. It depends on the person's age and health and ability to work. So that can be one of the more complicated issues. But again, it can be negotiated, because you don't know what you're going to get in court. Mm-hmm. And so a mediator can help the couple by giving them the law and understanding, what the court would likely do, and then help them find their bottom line and negotiate a deal. So then we come to the last part, the kid issues. And this is the part to where the courts are the least capable and the least able to do a fair, child-focused deal. I think parents who are having disputes about child issues would be much, much better off by taking their dispute to a child therapist or family therapist. It would be much, much cheaper. And if you don't want to go to a therapist, then something that I suggest, and I have 9 tips to avoid court on my website. That's one of my pages. People can go and cut and paste if they want to take any of these ideas. But one of the ideas I share is a special master provision. What that normally means in court is a neutral third party who helps people, and it's usually with financial issues. But I thought, well, why couldn't you do it with child issues? If you know a friend, you have a friend or a neighbor or a clergyman or some trusted parent that you've seen the results of their own wonderful parenting, that they have great kids, maybe college age or older, that good parenting went into creating these kids. Why couldn't you take your dispute to them? Both of you tell them your side and be bound by their good judgment, like the wise elder in the village, advising the people whom they know and love. That's a much more satisfying result than going to court and fighting.